All right, time now for our PIX panel. A lot to talk about. So joining me this morning, PIX 11 political reporters Henry Rosoff and Ayana Harry are back, and executive editor at Gotham Gazette, Ben Max. Good to have all three of you with us. So let's begin with the saga surrounding the congressman, right, George Santos of Long Island. So we did have Congressman Richie Torres on earlier today discussing how he and Congressman Dan Goldman filed this formal complaint against Santos for this ethics violation. Now, Long Island Republicans, they are calling for his resignation, right? But as Congressman Torres pointed out, Republican Congress members overall across the nation, they're staying quiet. So let me begin with you, Ayana, here. Do we expect anything at all, to come out of this?
Well, the Health Ethics Committee could lead to some repercussions for George Santos. Will it likely lead to him being removed from Congress? It's doubtful, and we have to keep in mind, right now, Republicans are enjoying a very thin majority within the House of Representatives. We saw with the 15 votes for House Speaker how difficult it can be for Republicans to coalesce and get things done in Washington. So they need every single Republican vote that they can get. And George Santos is one of those votes. If he steps down, this goes to a special election. We could see a Democrat take that place. So, you know, Democrats nationally have been silent, but they kind of need George Santos if they want to be productive during the 118th Congress.
Yeah, but Santos' silence overall, he has not addressed the media at all. Ben, is it almost a misstep not to come out and do some sort of press conference, or what's the strategy here?
I think when you've misled and lied about the degree of and number of things that he's misled and lied about, it's pretty hard to do that type of thing. We're not talking about one issue or one scandal here. So I think probably his game is to try to hide for as long as possible and get out of the headlines and get out of the news. And that might work out for him for at least a while. I think the chances of him running again for a second term probably seem unlikely at this point, but you never know with someone like this. He might be weighing a variety of different things, including using his seat as leverage to negotiate something with, law enforcement officials. We've seen that before from people in scandals, so we'll see.
One thing I've learned about you three, you intrepid reporters, and overall the political reporters, is they're not going away, right? So every time he comes out of his office, there's going to be someone there until there is an answer to some of the questions. Let's talk about the state of the state. Governor Kathy Hochul delivering it last week, her first as full-term governor, right? Housing and safety, clear top priorities here. So, Henry, we just heard your reporting on this. I guess the question is here, does she face any real opposition to getting those plans into action with a legislative supermajority?
Not necessarily in the state legislature, but from individual local municipalities that she is now pushing to add more housing, specifically in Nassau and Suffolk counties, which she called out by name in her speech. Absolutely, she faces pushback, and she's trying to push through this sort of state process to greenlight projects if local municipalities don't meet these growth goals that she hopes to set out. So her fight is going to end up, I would guess, being more local than at the state level. I will add that even on the stuff that was popular, biggest applause line was for tying the minimum wage to the consumer price index, essentially inflation. There are progressive members of her own party that want to bump the $15 number and then do that. So even that popular proposal, at least for Democrats, is up for debate.
Yeah, it's interesting the conversations that happen with Democrats within the state legislature, right? Because the governor says one thing, but the legislature sometimes says a different thing. And Ben, you recently had State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins on your own show, right? You talked to her about priorities for the legislative session. There has been this huge discussion around bail reform. So what exactly was your conversation? Is she in lockstep with some of the things the governor had to say?
Yeah, she was on my podcast before the State of the State, so we were getting into some of her priorities and some other things. I think she's always open to seeing data and new information around things like bail reform and criminal justice policies, but I think she and Speaker Hastie in the Assembly are both very reluctant to make more changes to the bail law. What the governor is proposing now, this change to remove this least restrictive setting from judges' requirements when considering bail, I think that might have some audience in the legislature, but it's not necessarily something that the state Senate Majority Leader has weighed in on yet.
Okay. All right. So, well, to be continued on that one, right? And then across the Hudson, there was also a very busy week in State of the States, right? It's that time of year. Governor Murphy also delivering his for New Jersey. So let's talk about the property taxes. Big issue for New Jersey. New Jersey tax rebate program open for 2 million people, but far from that many have actually signed up. Even renters are eligible here. Many don't even know it. So, Ayana, is there enough promotion for the program? What can the governor do to kind of get the word out?
There's certainly not enough promotion, and because of that, Governor Murphy actually extended the deadline. He's giving people more time to apply for this program. I mean, we're talking about out real, cold, hard cash up to $1,500. So the state of New Jersey certainly has to do more work to get the word out for homeowners. And as you mentioned, Dan, this program was extended for renters. So this is money that people can get back in their hands. The state has to get aggressive. Social media, maybe even TV ads to make sure that folks know.
Operationally, too, it's been a mess. We've heard from many people they can't get through on the phone. That needs to be fixed as well. This is more than an ad campaign that needs to happen here. Murphy had to extend this.
Yeah, and then there's this whole discussion around liquor licenses for establishments. I mean, we can't get into it today, but I think we should dive into this a different time because so many people are interested in these BYOB places. I can go on and on about it, but it's so expensive for a liquor license in New Jersey. He addressed it, but it's going to be a fight, I think. We'll talk about it, right? Ayana, Henry, and Ben, that's just me pontificating.